sit in and get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I don't wanna be the lover in your arms. I don't wanna be the one to keep you from home. I don't wanna be the crooked person in your heart. I don't wanna stop, but I don't wanna stop. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. I don't wanna waste no more of your precious time. I don't wanna say that everything will be fine. I don't wanna feel your tears on my skin. I'm a coward, baby, don't let me in. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. So I don't wanna sit in and get with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of war. There is no sickness, toil nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going to see my brother. He said he'd meet me when I come.
Good day, this is Thumbs United, streaming content for Photations, a photography website. I have the links in the chat and everything. Hold on, I was not prepared. I said everything the way I liked it, except for the background music. So let's get that working. And so we're just gonna pick up from where we left off. This is the last image. I'm gonna go through and we're gonna finish this section for sure, and then we will start the next one. I'm not gonna finish the next section. So this first section is going from Pennsylvania to New York, and it's a dashboard cam. And it's not a GoPro. I purchased a GoPro knockoff, and it's called the YI, I think. It's just a YI, and it was pretty good. I mean, as you can see, it has a wide range of color because it's kind of hazy, so that just means it's usually the wider the range a camera captures, the uncompressed, the kind of hazier the image looks. So we're gonna start by editing the curves, and I'm not doing too much adjustment. I'm just doing curve editing. Usually when I'm editing the photographs, if it was raw, I would, edit the fill light and the blacks, but that makes JPEGs extra noisy, so I'm just going to edit the tone curves, and this is going to be kind of my template. And I'm going to copy the settings real quick. So white balance and tone curve. And these photos are all taken at sunset. So they actually are this kind of vibrant yellow. This was in November of 2017, so last fall. As you can see, all the trees are missing their leaves. And it was, I think, on the way to New York, which is what this is. There's very little snow, but on the way back, which is what we'll be editing, is there was snow. And it's funny because during this trip I was doing an art appreciation class, which is funny in itself. When I first went to college, I wanted to become a art teacher, so I took a bunch of art classes. It was pretty much 2 semesters of just art, and it was intro to drawing, art education, and then 2-dimensional design, and there was something else, and a photography course. And so after taking all those art classes, I switched to computer programming. Application development is the actual degree, and I'm good at programming, but it's not something I get excited for. And that's kind of what I've noticed is going back into the school, I see everyone and they're like, oh man, we can write all these lines of code, it's all cool and everything. It's just like, it doesn't excite me. And so that was kind of like sad that I found that out now that I'm at the end of my degree. But in hindsight, I should have just stuck with art education. But that wasn't the point of the story. So anyway, so November, I'm in this art appreciation class, and so after taking a year worth of art classes when I first went to college, none of them counted as a humanities. So I needed humanities in order to graduate. And so it was like, well, there were like a bunch of options. Like I could learn a language, or I could do history of art. And history of art that's very tough. Because you have to remember the dates and everything. Like I enjoy history, and I actually enjoy the history of art. It's just at the college level, the tests are horrible. So then I decided to do the art appreciation, and it was a really fun class. I've been doing programming for so long, and both for work and for school, that I really kind of forgot how much I enjoyed learning about different artists and different techniques. I mean, like I would go to class and I would be excited, and I was like, maybe art was what I should have pursued. Which is funny, because then I started a blog called The Master of Art, in 2015, and almost every day I'm working on photographs and stuff. None of that would have told me I should have focused on art, but the art appreciation class really showed me that. There are still things I enjoy doing. And like that sounds kind of stupid, but I've been depressed for a really long time, and so that art appreciation class was like, there are still things that can excite you and motivate you and everything. So that was nice. Anyway, so this was a long side story, but going back to the reason, during this trip, I had a homework assignment, and so we went for the weekend. And the way the schedule worked is, I had class Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so we left on Friday night, and then we had to drive back Monday. And it takes 11 hours to go from Michigan to New York. We just drove all day. And so we get to New York, and I have this homework assignment, which is, I have to find graffiti art in like an unusual place. And so then the teacher was like, this is for the art appreciation class. And so the teacher was like, when you're finding the graffiti, it can't be a known location. Like it can't be like, not a meme, but not a trope. It has to be like an unknown spot. Like not a famous selfie spot. So I was like, where am I gonna do it? So I could have done it in the city that I live in, but I was like, I don't want to go hunting there. So then I decided, what? I'm just gonna wait till I do my weekend trip to New York, and that's what I did. So I found a ton of. We had to drop my sister off in Manhattan and another sister off in Brooklyn, and so we just kind of took the long way through the city, looking for kind of hidden graffiti and everything. So I had so many photos. We were supposed to we were supposed to get 5 images, 5 unique drawings, and we could upload like up to, I forgot what the number was, but it was like 7 or 9 if we wanted extra credit. And so I uploaded like 10. I was like, I'm getting extra credit. And both those classes I had a computer class, which was A+ hardware, A+ software. And both those classes I passed with flying colors. But the art appreciation, that one was, like, that was a class, like, normally when I take a class, it's like, I have to read the textbook, and I'm dyslexic, so reading a chapter in a textbook, especially, like, I can read books and everything, but for whatever reason, and, like, I read, like, how-to books for, like, programming and everything. One that I really like is the Visual Quick Start, but reading college textbooks is the worst. It takes all day, like 5 to 7 hours of just sitting there, and most of my problem is that it's like it's not like straightforward. There are all these blurbs and everything and side stories that are just like useless. It's like, it's not the books aren't they don't go through and like tell you things kind of sequentially. There's like a bunch of, they're trying to make it too fancy, and that's what slows me down. But with the art appreciation class, it was like, that was the first time I was like, I'm gonna read everything in the chapter and do the weekly reading, because sometimes I just skip it and it never affected my grade. But for the art appreciation one, it was like, this is really interesting stuff. I'm gonna apply it. And this went by really fast. And I believe that over here, this is Manhattan. So we're going from Jersey into Manhattan. It goes Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Jersey, then New York. And you pretty much go straight out of Jersey into New York. So all these are done. Okay. So now we're in Long Island, and there's 177 images, and they're just going back to Michigan. So we go through Long Island, and then we briefly go through. Well, actually, I think this one we do a couple drive arounds and in Manhattan. And I'm going to go through and which is what we're going to crop all these images to remove the car, and then we're going to get rid of the lens distortion. One of the nice things about these action cameras is they're really like the shotgun of cameras. You just point them in the general direction and they're like almost guaranteed to get everything in view. But because they're so wide angle and capture everything, the distortions are pretty bad. Like all of this, I mean, it's not really that bent, it's actually a straight line, but it looks like it's a spherical bridge. And I'm going to reduce the contrast just a little bit. And this is going to be the new setting. And then these are 12 megapixel images, and they're JPEGs, but they're higher end JPEGs. And part of the reason why this is going so much faster is, again, I'm just editing the curves. I'm not paying attention to the fill light or other options. So yeah, I don't know if this has the driving through Manhattan. There must be another set of photographs I have to go through and find, because I haven't edited them yet. So now I believe we're leaving Manhattan. Today it was a little rough. One of my sisters, she got jury duty, so she came from New York and flew back here to Michigan to go to jury duty. And they didn't. She called them up and she was like, "Listen, I don't live in Michigan," and they're like, "We don't care." She gets called every year. Like, it's supposed to be kind of a raffle. Who gets it? See, like I've gotten it once my entire life, and then I ended up not having to go. But she gets it like every year. But my mom had to take her back to the airport at like some ungodly time. I mean, they had to leave at like 6 in the morning. So that meant I was in charge of taking care of my grandmother, which is fine. I'm good at it. I spent the year of 2013 to 2014 as a live-in nurse, taking care of her. So we get along great. That wasn't the issue. I was going through my email and I noticed my teacher emailed me and he's like, I've got to none of your work. I'm worried about you. I was like, oh God, none of my work is due yet. It's an independent study and all the work is due on the same day, like all the chapters and everything. So it's all due the 20th. So I emailed him and I was like, I just uploaded everything yesterday. And I told him, thanks for worrying about me. But it's still giving me a heart attack. And I don't know, like, my anxiety's been, like, I have, I clinically have high anxiety. Like, I'm almost worse than Monk. And I don't have OCD though. But I don't know, just that getting that email and being like, oh my goodness, and my teacher thought I was gonna fail and all this stuff. It just really got me worried and spiraling. And so the other thing was that I hadn't eaten yet, so I was still like, not grumpy, but low blood sugar, and that makes the anxiety worse. And so I ate oatmeal, and I was like, okay, wait a half hour, see if I feel better. And then waited the half hour, still didn't feel better. And then I went and I drank this calming tea. It's this new tea we tried. We only got one box. We should have got a crate of it. We ordered our tea from Amazon, and so they sent like big boxes, but this was just a little tea bag box. And there was like 20 tea bags. But it's this tea called lemon balm, and we got it for both me and my grandmother. It's supposed to help with nervousness and also kind of shaking, like with Parkinson's and stuff. Part of the dementia my grandmother has. It's not Parkinson's, but it looks like it, where she starts rocking and everything, and it's like, it's a form of kind of agitation and boredom, or when she gets nervous she just has to kind of rock back and forth, or just really repetitive motions. So I got it for her. It's the lemon balm tea, and it works pretty well. It helps her relax and helps me relax a little bit. But today did not. And like I said, I was just spiraling for some reason. And internally in my head, I was like, this is ridiculous, but why is this freaking me out so much? And so then I drank the tea, and I was like, okay, wait a half hour and see if it gets better. And then it didn't get better. So then what I do is I drink this tea that has chamomile in it. It's called Sleepy Time, and it does exactly what it says it does. It's supposed to help you rest and go to sleep. So then I took that, And that one worked. I was like, okay, I'm feeling relaxed. And then it was just like, okay, I'm feeling too relaxed. So I had to. This was at like 3 o'clock. My sister and my other sister and my mom came back, and so they went to watch Grandma. And I went and I took a nap. And I was like, I thought I was just gonna like watch one, ASMR video. But I put it on, and I was like, you know what? I don't really need my eyes open for this. So I closed them, and then the video started buffering because I was just listening to the video, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to sleep here. And I fell asleep. And then the irony is I was trying to relax to get away from this panicked state. And I woke up panicked. I was like, oh, and I had let my dog outside, but I was like, I'm sitting here falling asleep, and I forgot to let her back in. But no, my mom was feeding the dogs, and she texted me before I fell asleep. But it was still like, not so relaxing to wake up. But the nap really helped. I feel so much better, and I actually went back to the online portal, and so all my homework has been uploaded, and then I took the quizzes. There's 7 quizzes I have to take, and I took 4 of them today. I'm gonna take the other 3 tomorrow, and I got, of the 4 quizzes, I got 100% on 3 of them, and then I got 80% on 1. So I'm really happy with that. And there's no book or anything. It's just, everything you had to teach yourself. So I'm like extra happy about that. Yeah, and then I have the final 3 quizzes to take. And then I wrote my project plan for the final project, and I just have to wait back from the professor, and I check my mail tomorrow, and then I just go and start writing this program. And I'm hoping it takes me like 2 days to write, and then I have to write a report on my program, so there's still plenty of time. So I'm not worried about that in the slightest. So now we're going into Manhattan, going through Manhattan. It turned out that bridge we went over a while back, that was going from Long Island into New York City. I'm getting excited for this project because pretty soon, once I'm done with, once I graduate, I have so much more free time to just do art, just do animation, and make short films and long films, and travel, and it's just gonna be a huge weight. I've been going to this college on and off for about 5 years, and to have the degree, and last semester I was like, there will never be a reason for me to come back to the college. Like, I will never have to be in these buildings again. And that was just like, I couldn't wait for that day. And then the joke is my last class is online, so I still don't have to go in, but it's different. It's I am looking forward to that closure, that resolution. And I mean, my academic journey was really rough. Oh, and that photo I was streaming, that kind of photo with all the errors on it, all the dust and everything, it was so dirty that I was just like, I can't edit this on stream, because it just would have taken too long. It would have been boring. And so earlier today, I just sat down and I just worked on it. It took like 2 hours. And it was painful, but what ended up happening was, like, all the dust was at the top, and like there was a lot of dust I had to remove. And so then once I got halfway done, it was just, there was very little work to do. So that was lucky, because if you go back and look at the stream, it was just like, there was just dust everywhere. And since the update, the Microsoft update, Photoshop has been working so much better. I haven't had to relaunch it, once. Going back, if you watch the stream, I worked on 3 or 4 photos, and each one was an uncompressed 70 megapixels. And I didn't have to relaunch once. Before the update, I had this problem with Photoshop where after editing one photo, it would become so laggy. It was just unusable. And whatever was in that update seems to have, the Windows update, not the Adobe update. Like, I actually went to Adobe to look for an update to the Photoshop I have CS6. Which is the last one you could pay for and buy in full without Creative Cloud. And so I went to look for an update for it. And of course there's no update, because they want you to go to Creative Cloud. And so I'm happy now. So we are in Jersey. And I don't think we're gonna get to Pennsylvania with this. Oh, you know what? We might be in Pennsylvania now. Yeah, I think because the last couple of photographs is they're in Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. And so Friday, for the Creative Friday, this is an extra stream. I usually stream only gameplay on Thursdays, but for Creative Friday, I'm going to probably start selecting video. I'm going to pre-set up some projects off stream, and then on stream I'll be streaming the editing process. the editor I'm going to use is Blender, which is unusual. Most people would use Premiere or Avid, but I have some secret sauce that works with Blender and helps me out. And that's what allows me to do the 3D and the VR and the 4K easier, and allows me to continue to stream. And that's why I use the Linux boxes. Okay, we're almost done. And we are done with this. Now we're going back to the first section, and we're going to start cropping everything. So I'm going to set up the default, which is 2x3. That's kind of my... Well, you know what, we're going to try 16x9, which they don't have. Yeah, that looks better. Usually I don't do this in 16x9. But now I'm gonna copy the settings and okay, so now you just go through and oh, you know what we have to do? I'm sorry, I lied. We have to do the lens correction, and I say it's a GoPro. Which is kind of true. Okay, now we're going to fix that. And I got rid of some of the distortion and everything. So now I'm going to recopy the settings. And I need new glasses so I can barely see my monitor's text from my chair. Okay. And we're just gonna go through and fix this. And it would have been nicer if I aimed the camera closer to the ground. But as you can see, I mean, it wouldn't have made a better picture because the car's hood is in the way. So either way, this is kind of the best angle that could be achieved. And again, we're still in Pennsylvania. Look at this. And there's good old FedEx. Something else I was gonna talk about, but I don't remember. I've been having memory problems. It's like one day I've just aged. I've always been like, I don't know, they say you're as old as you feel. I feel like I'm 90, which is a problem I'm trying to work out ironically, by working out. And see, this is like the fisheye effect, and the lens distortion kind of filter gets rid of it and makes that a straight, kind of straight line. Do. There was this project I wanted to do last fall. I was kicking myself because I had so much schoolwork I wasn't able to do it. It was just like, you know what, I'm going to... Oh, and it wasn't just that. I was working as a gardener too, so I had like no free time because there are all these trees where it was I was doing like, it was like 30 lawn bags a week. It was just madness. And so I was just really busy. So I wanted to go to the parks to take all these photos of the leaf changes and everything. I only got to like 2 parks. Well, it's technically 3. But 2 of them were like right next to each other. And so I was looking at those photos the other day. I was actually showing them to my grandmother. And I was like, because the color and everything was like so good. It was just, I wish I finished that project. But the good news is I can start it this year. Starting to get to them kind of rolling mountains in Pennsylvania. You might be wondering why don't I crop in or like zoom in more? Like if I wanted that, crop that. And that's mainly because these are going to be for the photations, which are the photographic animations, and what those do is I animate kind of the zooming in and the zooming out of the photograph, or panning from left to right. And I need the images to be wider because I'll start out wide and then zoom into the area, the point of interest, the focal point of the image. So that's why I'm cropping it so wide, leaving as much as I can in. I can't decide. I like these trees over there, but I also like the mountains. I guess I'm going with the trees, because those mountains are kind of far. So I'm just gonna finish cropping these photos, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Today was a short stream. I just wanted to get this part in there so we can hopefully start working with the animation and everything tomorrow. I have a lot of gardening to do, and I was kind of talking about the programming work I have to finish. So we'll see how far along I get with that, but I'll probably stream around 9 or 10. The stuff over here is definitely more interesting. That kind of cliff face. How the road is carved out of the mountain. Do. That's funny, I'm playing, in my free time I play Need for Speed Rivals. I got it as a 2-pack. I got Need for Speed Rivals, and then that game they just called Need for Speed, which is essentially like the new version of the old game Need for Speed Underground. But I play Rivals so much more because the island where you drive around is just more scenic, and it's nicer because there's actually daylight. But the thing I hate about the open world is that, you know, there are day hours where you'll be driving around and you drive for like 15 minutes and then the sun starts setting. It's like, oh no, then you're driving at night, and then it starts raining, and it's just like, I like the open world, but I wish there was a mode where you could set, you know, just stay daytime all the time, or, you know, stay nighttime, or stay clear weather. On the flight simulators, they have those options where you can choose, you know, like let's say I want to do a takeoff from Detroit. In the flight simulator, you can say, okay, simulate the time of day, the weather that's in Detroit. So it will be like really accurate. You get the wind patterns and everything. It's scary how well that stuff works. Excuse me. But yeah, so, and then I don't really even play Need for Speed Rivals. I just drive around in it. And the thing that kind of annoyed me is when you're driving around as the racer, you know, cops are always trying to pull you over. It doesn't matter if you're in a race or not. They just always want to pull you over, and so you get points for like the longer you drive, the more races you do, and like driving bonuses. But if the cops, you know, get you, slash bust you, then you lose all those points. And I was like, oh. So the game has this mode where you can play as the cops. So that's pretty much all I do, because no one's gonna pull me over, 'cause I'm the cop. And then so I just kind of free drive, and yeah, so I was in between. There are like these different assignments you have to complete to level up, and I just ignore them. So the other day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna actually complete the current level I'm at to level up. And I did it, and then it tells you, how long it took you to beat that rank you're at. And for me, it said it was something like 10 days, 12 hours, and whatever minutes. And I was like, wow, I haven't done a lot of, free driving. Oh no, it wasn't 10 days, it was like 10 hours. Just for that one level. So now we're leaving New York. And that's what he said. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. This has been a creative live stream, kind of off schedule. Tomorrow is another creative live stream, starting at around either 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I stream video games. I record a let's play. I record it live on Twitch on Tuesdays, and then I do a rerun on Thursdays. And then Wednesdays and Fridays is the creative stream, and if I have time I stream creative for the weekend. But this weekend I'm not going to have time. I'm going to be busy all weekend, and possibly even Monday. So after Friday, I'll see you guys Monday or Tuesday. So thanks for coming in, and I'll see you tomorrow.